So, you're here for the big announcement. BonBonB, by the way, how you doing? Anyway, so the big announcement, Skylines Talk Season 3. Who are the guests? You want to know, don't you? And I don't blame you. But before we crack on and have a look at the guests in Season 3, well, not everybody will have seen all of the episodes in Seasons 1 and 2. So I figured it'd be a good idea just to give a little plug to the creators that we've spoken to in the past, because there might be a show that you missed that you want to catch up on. Now, all the links to all of these shows will be in the description down below. I will probably mention that once or thrice, but there you are, they'll be down there. So just, if you see one you want to watch, just go click the link. Well, we started off in Season 1 with the legend himself, Mr. Miyagi. And, well, if you don't know who Mr. Miyagi is, then where have you been? He's got his fingers in just about every single pie imaginable at the moment. A very, very busy man, and a thoroughly nice chap to talk to. I mean, really enjoyed it, so much so that I went back and had a chat with him at Christmas as well and had a look at his Christmas village. So anyway, Mr. Miyagi, one of the best map makers out there in terms of playability maps. If you want a map that is guaranteed to be playable, just choose a Mr. Miyagi map. So anyway, Mr. Miyagi, episode 1, season 1. And then we went on to episode 2, which was with Aquila Soul. Now, Aquila Soul, well, she's built some maps herself. She's got a very unique style, very craggy kind of style. And you can spot an Aquila Soul map just at glancing. It's one of those map makers that you just know. But that's not why I got her on this show, because besides being a map maker, she has got an extensive knowledge of the game. When I say extensive, if you've got a problem with the game, you've got a mod that doesn't work, you've got something that's broken, just anything, any technical question with the game, she seems to have the answer, and it doesn't seem to be written down, it seems to be in her head. I don't know how she does it, but she was very nice to talk to, very interesting, one of my favourite interviews to date as well. So if you want to see that one, episode 2, Skylines Talk with Aquila Soul, and the link is down in the description below. Right, and then we went on to episode 3. Now, episode 3 is a much loved character, Mr. Maison. And when I say much loved, he puts life into everybody's map. He's the guy who makes the trees. Now, he's not the only person that makes trees, but if you've got some trees off of the workshop, I would say there's a good 90% chance they're from Mr. Maison. He's an absolute genius when it comes to that kind of thing, and he's a really artistic guy as well. Very fun to talk to. I miss our conversation actually, and I'd love to get him back on the show at a later date. So episode 3 of Skylines Talk was with Mr. Maison. Now we got to episode 4, and I wanted to mix things up, as we'd had a map maker, and then we'd had an oracle, and then we'd had an asset creator, and then thought, well, how about YouTubers? You know, the creative ones, not just any old guy, but Crumbs McGee is one of the best. I mean, genuinely, if you've not seen Crumbs McGee's videos, then you really need to get on there straight away, because one of the most beautiful things about Cities Skylines are intersections. They are just beautiful to watch. Just to watch the traffic flowing when it's flowing correctly, and when they're beautifully decorated and unique. They are the most watchable thing, and Crumbs McGee is the king when it comes to intersections. The intersection guy himself, Crumbs McGee, Skylines Talk, episode 4. Links in the description below. But you already knew that, didn't you? Then we went on to season 2 after a little break, and I put my head back together, and we got the king himself. Episode 5 of Skylines Talk was with King Leno. Now, King Leno is obviously the asset guy. He does an awful lot of American commercial buildings, all those kind of things. You don't need me to tell you. You do not need me to tell you. He's a really lovely guy. He's got himself a YouTube channel as well. But for me, the thing with King Leno is his assets. It's absolutely a game changer when you've got King Leno assets. So episode 5 Skylines Talk was with King Leno. Link is in the description. Then episode 6, I went back to YouTube. Now this is a guy that you either know or you don't. I mean, he's going quite well. Somewhere around 200,000 subscribers is not small. He's British, a fellow Englishman like myself, and it made it very accessible for me to be able to chat with him. He's the big tea stain himself. It's Biffa. Doesn't just do City Skylines, although that's a big part of his channel. Famous for Minecraft, but also loads of other strategy games as well. Very entertaining, very talkable. Got great knowledge of the game as well, having played it extensively over the last couple of years, I guess. So anyway, that is well worth watching and well worth subscribing to Biffa as well. He's a lovely guy, and you won't regret following his channel there. In episode 7, well, now this one, I'm disappointed with you guys. I'm disappointed with you guys. It's the least watched of all the Skylines Talk interviews, and yet it's probably the most, well, the most important. What City Skylines all about? What is it all about? It's about building cities. And we all love watching, like I say, with Crumbs McGee's intersections. We like a good intersection. But what about the perfect city? The perfect city. Well, if you've been following Reddit or certain Facebook groups, etc., etc., Antonio is the guy who's doing the Cork City build. Cork City being the town in Southern Ireland, and he's recreating it, and it's almost photoreal. When I say almost photoreal, there are sometimes you can see a screenshot and you don't know if it's actually Google Earth. That good, my friends, that good. So first of all, look him up on Reddit, Cork City Skylines, City Skylines. That kind of, you know how to use search. I'm sure you know how to use search. Check it out. Check it out. There are screenshots in the interview with Antonio, and definitely one to watch. That one. Interesting guy as well, a Spaniard living in Southern Ireland, and yeah, really enjoyed my chat with him. Really great guy. That's episode 7, Skylines Talk with Antonio Bernal. And then episode 8, yes, I had lots of teasers building up to this one, loads and loads of teasers. Bloody Penguin. Once again, we're talking about one of the geniuses of the game here, a guy who makes it so playable with mods. Well, he's got more mods than I've got hairs on my head. I know I'm running out of hairs on my head, but he's a great guy. I don't know where we'd be without him. And if you want an insight into what it's like to be a modder on your favourite game, then that is the interview for you. Episode 8 of Skylines Talk was with Bloody Penguin, and that link is in the description below. Right, now the important stuff. Who's coming up? Episode 9 is with a YouTuber, Fresh Popcorn. Yes, he who did the Disappearing Act, him who was a fellow contributor on Arrowhead Junction with Flux, Trance and Strict Toaster, and disappeared and didn't tell anybody what had happened, and then came back and apologised, and all credit to that, but hasn't really told anybody what happened. Guess who has the exclusive? Yes, your very, very favourite BonBon. No, I had a really good chat with Fresh. We covered a lot of things, not just his disappearance, but we covered what his passions are away from the computer, and basically what it's like to be a YouTuber at the top end, at the pressure end, and then of course we covered his disappearance and what caused that, and maybe what I can do for it not to happen to me. So episode 9 of Skylines Talk with Fresh Popcorn, that will be live 6 PM UK time on Monday the 5th of March. Monday the 5th of March for Skylines Talk 9 with Fresh Popcorn. Number 10, now we're getting into assets, and this is one of those guys who does, I'm going to say, stonework. I know it's all digital, there isn't any stone really, but does stonework better than probably anybody else. I mean, there are people who come close, maybe match him. Nobody does it better than Armesto. Now, just have a look on the workshop for his churches, for his Lugo builds. He's just got a way of building buildings with character in a way that just you have to have them. You just have to have them. Even if you're doing like a Southwest American city build, you want his Spanish or Russian themed buildings. You just need them. You have to have them. You've got to fit them in somewhere. He's an absolute legend. It was great fun to chat with, and episode 10 of Skylines Talk with Armesto will be out on Monday the 12th of March at 6 PM UK time. So then on to episode 11. Now, we haven't had a map maker for a little while, have we? So why not get probably the most prolific good map maker that there is out there? I mean, there are people who are churning out maps, but not to the standard of Icania. Now, Icania is he's a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy from Sweden, and we didn't have the best of lines, but hopefully it won't ruin the interview too much. Well, we had a good old chat, discussed his history, what he does in his time away from the computer as well as how he plans his maps, where he gets the inspiration for his maps, and all of that kind of thing. It's a really interesting, if you're into your maps, then I think an Icania interview is definitely one you won't want to miss. So that's Icania, Skylines Talk episode 11, and that will be on Monday the 19th of March. That'll be at 6 PM UK time. And then we'll finish with, well, one of the biggest names in terms of assets. When I say the biggest names, Vanya, well, she was commissioned by Colossal Order to do the European Suburbia DLC. Being asked by the big wigs themselves to actually create official content for the game, that's a big deal. That is a very, very big deal. I mean, obviously she does do other assets, you know, free on the workshop, and she does some great stuff. She does some really great stuff, and obviously she knows what she's talking about. Really, really enjoyed my chat with Samantha, hashtag Avanya, and yeah, you just can't afford to miss this one. This will be out on Monday the 26th of March. That'll be 6 PM UK time. So that's it. That is my guests for season 3. So we'll be starting with Fresh Popcorn, which will be Monday next week. Armesto, which will be Monday in 2 weeks' time. 3 weeks' time will be Icania, and then in 4 weeks' time we'll be finishing with Avanya. Then we'll be taking a little break from Skylines Talk so that I can rest my brain. You won't believe the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes putting these interviews together. And then we'll come back with season 4, and I have some ideas for who I would like to, on season 4. Of course, stick your ideas in the comments below, who you would like, who we've not covered already, to be interviewed in season 4. And if there's a name down there that I really, really think that we should have ahead of those that are on my shortlist, then maybe I might just make an approach. So anyway, I've been BonBonB. Thanks very much for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. You guys are what make this show work. What's the point of having a conversation with these creators if there's nobody to watch you do it? So thank you so much, very much, for supporting the show, for supporting the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for another What Map in the What Map series. Have a great day, guys.